بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد. Brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Inshallah, the theme of today's khutbah has to do with Tarbiyatul Awlad, children upbringing in the perspective of Islam. That means in an Islamic perspective. First of all, respected brothers and sisters in Islam, we enjoin you and ourselves, meaning I'm enjoining you and myself, fear of Allah Azza wa Jalla, protecting ourselves from the hellfire. As for at-taqwa, hada, that is consciousness of Allah or fear of Allah Azza wa Jalla, it is the commandment that Allah gave to the nation before us and also the nation of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allah enjoined those before us and ourselves also to fear Allah. In His statement, Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned in the Qur'an in Surah An-Nisa that وَلِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ, to Allah belongs what is in the heavens and what is in the earth. He now said, وَلَقَدْ وَصَّيْنَا الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ وَإِيَّاكُمْ أَنِ اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ, that indeed, certainly, we enjoin the people of the book before you and also you also to fear Allah Azza wa Jalla. وَإِن تَكْفُرُوا, if you disbelieve, if you disobey, if you refuse to fear Allah Azza wa Jalla, you reduce Allah nothing in His kingdom. He says, فَإِنَّ لِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ, indeed to Allah belongs what is in the heavens and what is in the earth. وَكَانَ اللَّهُ غَنِيًّا حَمِيدًا, indeed Allah is rich, is self-sufficient and also is praised. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, we need to fear Allah Azza wa Jalla, and we need to also know, to put in our mind that indeed these children, that when we see them we feel that one kind of comfort in our hearts. These children are amana from Allah Azza wa Jalla, and also they are grant from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Yes, of course, when there's something grant, is something which you get without doing anything. That is why Allah mentioned in the Qur'an, لِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ يَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ إِنَاثًا وَيَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ الذُّكُورَ أَوْ يُزَوِّجُهُمْ ذُكْرَانًا وَإِنَاثًا وَيَجْعَلُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ عَقِيمًا إِنَّهُ عَلِيمٌ قَدِيرٌ. That to Allah belongs the dominion of the heavens and the earth. لِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ, He created whatever He wants. Whatever He wished, He created. يَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ إِنَاثًا, He grants some people or whomever He pleased, He grant them children, male children, all completely from one to the last of the child, to the last of the children, He grant them all male. From the first child, second child, third child, down to the last child, all of them, some family, Allah will grant them male all completely. يَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ إِنَاثًا وَيَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ الذُّكُورَ يَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ إِنَاثًا, some family Allah will grant them female children all completely, and some male completely. أو يزوجهم ذكرانا وإناثا. While some he will give them mixing. Some in the family will observe that both male and female. Allah will grant them like that. He will mix. وَيَجْعَلُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ عَقِيمًا, and whomever he wish, he will make them barren, unproductive. They produce nothing. Whatever, no matter the numbers of wives that he married, or the mother after one husband to the next husband, he or she will not produce. That is how Allah wants it. And again, there is no mistake in Allah's decision. وَيَجْعَلُ مَنْ يَشَاءُ عَقِيمًا, because إِنَّهُ عَلِيمٌ قَدِيرٌ. Allah has the full knowledge and he knows the wisdom behind that. Only him knows the wisdom behind that. Qadir, and he's capable of doing everything. Meaning, from the statement of Allah Azza wa Jalla in that ayah, يَخْلُقُ مَا يَشَاءُ يَهَبُ لِمَنْ يَشَاءُ. He grants. That is a grant that he gave just because his mother, you satisfy your own desire, but Allah decided to give you that children as a grant. Not because you did, not because of anything. Not because you gave ransom or you pay Allah anything. Allah just decided to give you, and that child he now places as a test, as also he now made it as a trust which he entrusted you to discharge that aman. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, those children that Allah grant you as a grant, I will use that word grant, that Allah grant you, those children are amana. They are trust that Allah entrusted them in your hand. For that, it is incumbent upon you to give them good upbringing, to raise them in accordance to the Qur'an and the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If you don't know how to raise children, learn from the story, from the history of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. How did he raise children, or the Sahaba, the young Sahaba that were with him? Just like the person of mother Abdullah ibn Abbas, whom the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam placed on his back on the camel. While they were walking, the Prophet sallallahu was mother trying to plant what is called tawheed in his heart, to give him spiritual advice by saying that, mother, inni u'allimuka kalimat, I'm teaching you some words. Ihfadillah. Be careful of Allah Azza wa Jalla by obeying Allah's commandment. Yahfaduk, Allah will be careful, Allah will take care of you. Ihfadillah tajiduhu amamak. All those ones continue. وَإِذَا سَأَلْتَ فَاسْأَلِ اللَّهِ وَإِذَا اسْتَعَنْتَ فَاسْتَعِنْ بِاللَّهِ وَاعْلَمْ. All these things, these are kalimat, words, advices that the Prophet ﷺ gave to one of the companions, Abdullah ibn Abbas. Also, like mother, the person of Anas bin Malik, and the rest, and most of the Sahaba, they learned a lot of mother Islamic etiquettes from the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That we learn from, and that is why Allah used him, say that mother, he is the best example for us to imitate. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, the children are amana that Allah placed under our responsibility. For that, whoever discharged the assignments or the trust that Allah entrusted to him, then that person will be among the successful ones in this world and in the next. But whoever heeds, or whoever is heedless, or mother neglects that amana that Allah entrusted, or abuse that amana that Allah entrusted on him, then that person is going to be among those that will regret in this world and in the next. Because since from this world you see the repercussion of you not giving them the good upbringing. Allah Azza wa Jalla command us in the Qur'an, the commandments, that we should protect ourselves and our families from the fire. In his statement, O you who believe, in Surah Al-Mada, in Surah Al-Tahrim, Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu, qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. O you who believe, protect yourselves and your families from the fire of which the fuel of it is mankind and stone. And on it, or beside those that are securing the hellfire, are malaika. There are angels, not human beings like you. Those are malaikas that mother ghilabun shidad. They are very severe and strong. لا يعصون الله ما أمرهم. They never disobey Allah Azza wa Jalla in carrying out Allah's commandment. ويفعلون ما يؤمرون. And whatever Allah commands them to do, that is what they discharge. They never slow. يسبحون الليل والنهار لا يفترون. In anything they are doing, they never slow. They are not slow. In regarding to this ayah, يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم, to the end of the ayah, Qatada mentioned in his tafsir that the meaning, or before the Qatada, let me start with the Sahaba. Sayyidina Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu, one of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whose name is Ali ibn Abi Talib, he mentioned that the meaning of this ayah is mother ma'allimuhum ad-din wa addibuhum. They should teach your children the deen of Islam and again give them good upbringing. That is the meaning of the ayah. Then one of the righteous predecessors, Qatada, whose name is Qatada, mentioned in his tafsir that the meaning, also in the part of his own contribution, that the meaning, what the ayah entails, that the ayah is telling us to command our children to obey Allah Azza wa Jalla and also prevent them or forbid them from the disobedience of Allah Azza wa Jalla, and for us to also stand on them to ensure they carry out Allah's commandment, command them and also help them in their defaults. That is the meaning of the ayah, giving them good upbringing, enjoining them to do what is good, forbidding them from what is evil. Then also for us to also stand وَأْمُرْ أَهْلَكَ بِالصَّلَاةِ وَاصْطَبِرْ عَلَيْهَا, for us to also stand to ensure that they carry out Allah's commandment. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the hadith narrated by Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him. Abdullah ibn Umar, that is the hadith that both Bukhari and Muslim narrated in their book, or it is established in their authentic book. The Prophet ﷺ said, Kullukum ra', all of you are shepherd, all of you are custodian. Wa kullukum mas'ulun 'an ra'iyatihi. On the day of resurrection, Allah is going to ask you regarding to your custody. Allah will ask everybody, and no one is exempted from the statement of the Prophet ﷺ, because he mentioned that every single person is a custodian. Don't say it's only the government that is only because that is custodian, or the imam, or the chairman, and the governors, and so no, everybody, whoever you call yourself, you are a custodian on yourself. Even a shepherd that is controlling cattle is also a custodian. Also, Allah will ask everybody, kullukum ra', all of you are custodian, all of you are shepherd. Wa kullukum mas'ulun 'an ra'iyatihi, and all of you will be asked regarding to what is placed under your custody. He now said, وَالرَّجُلُ رَاعٍ فِي أَهْلِ بَيْتِ, a man is a custodian in his family, within his house. وَالْمَرْأَةُ وَمَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهِ, and he's going to be asked about what is placed under his custody. Allah will ask you regarding to your wife or your wives. Allah will ask you regarding your children, how were you able to establish or fairness among them. Allah will ask you everything about it. Were you able to discharge your assignment or your responsibility? Allah will ask everybody. Also, the female, the wives also, they are not exempted. وَالْمَرْأَةُ رَاعِيَةٌ عَلَى بَيْتِ زَوْجِهَا وَوَلَدِهَا وَمَسْئُولَةٍ عَنْ رَعِيَّتِهَا. A wife herself, she's also a custodian. She's a shepherd also regarding or within the house of her husband, and also regarding to the children. And she will be asked about her custody, about what is placed under her under her responsibility on the day of resurrection. Allah will ask her on how she carried out her own assignment. She will be asked on the day of resurrection. Even al-khadima, the maid, the servant, also, if you're the security, how were you able to take care of the home? These are assignments that Allah placed under your responsibility. Were you able to discharge your responsibility? If yes, then a glad tidings for you. If otherwise, then mother and evil tidings for you in when we meet Allah Azza wa Jalla. For that, kullukum ra'. Everybody is a custodian, and you will be asked regarding to what is placed under your custody. Regarding, in fact, reference to maybe the topic of the discussion. A child that Allah Azza wa Jalla placed under your custody, you must discharge. You must make sure that the amana that Allah placed under your custody is discharged. You must not fail it. You must not fail. You must make sure that Allah's assignment is carried out. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned in an hadith narrated by Muslim, in an hadith reported by Imam Muslim in his authentic book, Hadith Ma'qil ibn Yasar. The Prophet ﷺ says, ما من عبد يسترعيه الله رعية ثم يموت يوم يموت وهو غاش لرعيته إلا وحرم الله عليه الجنة. There is no servant of Allah Azza wa Jalla. There is no person that Allah placed under his responsibility something. Then that person now betray that thing that Allah placed under his responsibility, except that Allah will deprive him Jannah on the day of resurrection. لذلك, we have to try our best possible to ensure that we carry out those things, what Allah entrusted under our responsibility. My dear respected brothers and sisters in Islam, there are things or there are procedures we must need to take in nourishing or in the upbringing of children. For this tarbiyah, the upbringing is not limited to ensuring that we provide the food within the house. It's not limited to that alone. It's not limited to clothing them with your wife or your wives, your children or your child. It's not limited to giving them shelter. It's not limited to that. Rather, it also involves, those things are part of them, but it also involves the spiritual nourishing or upbringing. We must try our best possible to plant an aqidah, that is belief in the heart, in the soul of our children, by teaching them or letting them to understand the word La ilaha illallah, negation and affirmation, meaning there is no one worthy of worship. You must let them know that no one deserves their worship except who? Allah Azza wa Jalla. And letting them knowing the greatness of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Let them know that any act of disobedience is not to Allah. You don't disobey Allah Azza wa Jalla. On any act of obedience is what Allah Azza wa Jalla encouraged. لأن الله لا يأمر بالفحشاء, because Allah has never encouraged immorality or evil and sin. Let them understand that. Let them not cross their boundary. Then they should be accustomed with dhikr, that is remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Teach them how to always mention in some adhkar, remembrance of Allah Azza wa Jalla, and let them know the greatness of the names and the attributes of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Let them also get used to being gratitude to Allah Azza wa Jalla regarding to any forms of bounty. Yes, you provide everything within the house. They have everything. They are living fine. Alhamdulillah, they are eating the food and everything. Let them understand that this ni'mah is from Allah. It's not from you. Yes, I bought these things for you. Yes, you have this, eat rice and this and that, many all these things. Understand that this is not from me. Allah gave you through me. Allah used me for you people to have this thing. The shelter, yes, alhamdulillah, you are going to school inside the car. All these things are from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Because all these ni'mah are from Allah Azza wa Jalla. وَآتُوهُ مِنْ مَالِ اللَّهِ الَّذِي آتَاكُمْ. Everything possessed are the wealth of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Let them understand that it will increase them in iman. It will make them know the greatness of Allah Azza wa Jalla. No, but not that you build their body and you are not nourishing their soul. That is totally wrong. Then they should also get used to being watchful of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Let them know about the muraqabah in their action and also in their statement. Whenever they are uttering a word, let them attribute everything, especially when it comes to righteousness, to Allah Azza wa Jalla. They should be careful of Allah. Tell them not to disobey Allah. Then also part of the way we can also give good upbringing to our children is that we nourish them with an act of mother, ibadah, servitude. Let them get used to that since when they are very young. In respect to the ibadah, we can give them good upbringing by letting them know or knowing the 5 pillars of Islam. Let them know what is the meaning of the 5 pillars of Islam. We should enumerate those pillars of Islam and we should also let them understand the meaning of it. The Shahada, yes, alhamdulillah, we are born into Islam. Alhamdulillah, I have every reason to appreciate Allah Azza wa Jalla. Then also understand that the first thing you are going to be asked about is your prayer. Don't joke with your prayer. Always warn them that prayer is the first thing that Allah is going to ask you. If you are not praying, anta kafir. Tell them like that. Tell them that if you are not praying, if you are not praying, even if your name is Muhammad or Abdullah, you are a kafir. Because all these names will not save you. The only thing that will save you is your action. Let them understand that when it's time for prayer, pray on time. This is how we can also nourish or give them good upbringing. Let them know the importance of mother, the 5 pillars, the Islam. Then the zakah also, we should try to encourage them. Like sadaqat. If you have sadaqah you want to give, you can give someone who is in need through your child. Take this thing, you are teaching them morals. You are teaching them, you are bringing them you are teaching them good upbringing. All these things. Then and the rest of the matter, the 5 pillars of Islam. Teach them how to perform ablution. At the initial stage, they need to learn how to perform ablution. Let them understand all these things. Then how to pray, also they should learn from you. That we see you performing that ablution. Then also teach them. Then when you are going to the masjid, go along with them. Let them see how you pray, because at the initial stage they learn from you. It's not from what the imam is even telling. Most of the children learn from their parents. If you are heedless about, or you are neglecting these prayers, you observe that them themselves will be heedless. Encourage them and ensure you make them love the prayer, and also let them walk around with you to the masjid. Teach them the etiquette of the masjid. If you go to the masjid, don't destroy. If you go to the masjid, don't interrupt people. Don't disturb. Don't be running around. Stand, because you are standing in front of Allah, the one who created me and you. Let the child understand that, not that you just carry him, you come to the masjid, running around, you climb here, coming down from there. They are not being taught the etiquette of the masjid. They destroy this one and those one because their parents don't tell them to know the importance, the greatness of Allah Azza wa Jalla. All these things are very, very important. Teach them all these things in accordance with the teachings of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave a commandment: Muru awladakum bis salah. Command your children to pray. وَهُمْ أَبْنَاءُ سَبْعَ سِنِينَ, while they are 7 years. At the age of 7 years, a child is being commanded to carry out the legislation of Allah Azza wa Jalla, but don't flog them. When a child is 7 years, you command that child to pray or to carry out the law of mother, the legislation of Allah, and that child refuses, don't flog them. Islam did not give you permission to flog them. The Prophet ﷺ did not give you permission to flog them. When he's 8 years, she's 8 years, you command, you enjoy what is good, and he's not doing that, she refused. Don't flog them. Don't kill them. At the age of 9 years, don't flog. 9 to some months, don't flog them. But when they reach the age of 10, he now says, وَضْرِبُوهُمْ وَهُمْ مَاذَا أَبْنَاءُ عَشَرَ سِنِينَ. Then you can now discipline them, caning them in a way that you won't injure them, or they won't have any mark on their body. Maybe you just spank them if they refuse to carry out the law of Allah. That is at the age of 10 years. Then وَفَرِّقُوا بَيْنَهُمْ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ, separate them in their beds. When those children has reached the age of 10, don't allow them to sleep on the same bed again. If they are sleeping on the same bed, there should be a barrier among them. Then also, we also give them the tarbiyah of al-akhlaq, good morals. Try as much as possible to nurture their soul with good morals by teaching them how to behave, teaching them good character. Example like, let them learn from us spreading of taslim. Assalamu alaikum. When your children in the house, maybe you come to the house, or in the morning that you observe that your children are not greeting you, extend the taslim to them. Children, assalamu alaikum. Let them respond to the taslim. But we are supposed to be extending, you are supposed to be telling me taslim first. Tell them about the importance of mother, the message of the Prophet ﷺ, that yusallimu as-saghir ala al-kabir. It is the young one that is supposed to extend the taslim to the elder one. And I'm your father, you are supposed to be telling me taslim. If they get used to you, then even if others are coming, they will know how to extend the taslim. All those things are very, very important. Then also, being kind to neighbors also is very, very important. Let your child see you treating your neighbors kindness, with mother, an act of kindness. Let them see that kindness in you, the kind of your relationship with your neighbors. But if you are treating them in a wrong way, they will also imitate from you. They will now feel it is normal. When they see you relating with your neighbors with an act of mother kindness, they will pick that from you also. Also, your children should also see you obeying or being dutiful to your own parents. They will be dutiful to you. Then also, they should see the good morals. Treat others the way you want your children to treat you. Relate with others the way you want your children to relate with you. Then pay attention to their health also is something very, very important. This has to do with paying attention to the kind of food they consume. Ensure you are giving them from the halal earning. Don't nurture the children's body with haram, stealing from a mother, from the wealth of the masses, and nurturing your children. It will make them to be corrupt. You build their body structure, but the spirit has not been built. Lidhalik, ensure you earn halal and feed them with halal. Even if you have halal, don't feed them with haram, and don't feed them with haram wealth. If you want your child to be disciplined, to have that spiritual nurturing, feed them with halal wealth. Because most of us, may Allah just make it easy for us, a lot. See, the source of earning is haram, and they don't care, and all the reason why they are amassing this wealth is because of the family. You choose to feed your family with haram money at the expense of disobedience of Allah, that is totally wrong. Don't do that. It will make your children to be corrupt. That's why I see many rich people, you see their children studying abroad. They'll come back to be corrupt. Most of them, I'm not saying all, most. That's how it is. Let them get used to, let your children get used to sleeping and waking up early. Sleeping after Isha, they should try and sleep earlier. Teach them how to wake up very early to observe some nights, some couple of raka'ats, even if it's not all. Or at least raka'atayn fajr, that you see you doing it. It's very, very important after Subhi prayer, then like the qira'at, Qur'an, recitation of the glorious Qur'an. Then also pay attention to the children's cycle, the friends, and also because they will have impact on them. Ensure you register your child or enroll him in the Quran cycle. Then also you can also give him certain responsibilities, like mother honoring guests or giving them hospitality. Teach them all these things. Then also investigate or seek for a good environment, because it will also have effects on them, because they are going to mix with other children. Because if you are living in a corrupt environment, it will also affect them. Ensure you get a good environment for them, an environment that he made good friends, good children, environment with Islamic schools. Ensure you get those kind of environments that honor the deen and the slogans of Islam. They are also very, very important. Then because of time, they are supposed to have explained some things there, but I believe the Imam should be around, inshallah. Then also at tarbiyah, indirect upbringing also. This can also involve making supplication to them before and after birth. Before birth, make sure you choose good mother for them. Then also at the time you want to mother satisfy your desire, ensure you satisfy with supplication. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned whenever you want to get intimate with your family, there's a supplication before you get intimacy, and even when your wife have carried out mother is pregnant, also there is a supplication, and after the childbirth there is supplication. Everything of your mother, of the life cycle of human being, Islam is involved in it. But most of these things we are heedless about them. Make supplication for them in every condition about their guidance before and after their birth. Choose the best name that is meaningful, not name that is meaningless. Choose the best name for them, and again teach them, let them understand the meaning of that name. Your name is Abdullah, meaning you are a servant of Allah, Azza wa Jalla. Make sure you serve Allah well. Your name is Muhammad. Now, this is the name. This is the name of mother, or one of the names of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Make sure you imitate his character. All these things are very important. Then be fair among your family, among your children. If you are fair among them, don't differentiate between male and female in terms of treatment. When you are treating them, make sure you treat them, be fair in your treatment. What you give to the male is what you give to the female. Don't say, since this one is male, let me give him double. No. Provided you are alive, that treatment has to be there. Treat them, because it will eliminate animosity and a kind of mother jealous and hatred. Then relate with them with an act of kindness and gentleness, and be merciful to them. But that does not mean when they deserve, when it's time for you to be harsh to them, you should not be harsh to them. Then apply the methodology of mother, reward, and sometimes punishment, and diversify a kind of punishment without beating them, or maybe without using cane. different types of, there are different other ways of punishing children by reprimanding or rebuking all this thing, or giving them a kind of angry look. Sometimes it also helps. Inshallah, the Imam is around.